Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Crimea is hit again by saboteurs. This time, at least according to the Russian side. And if they come and say that, that means it must be that or more in this case. As you probably know, there was some explosions, plural, at that military airfield in Crimea, and I didn't know who did it. It was a fire, something, safety regulation that was not followed and all that. I think that is totally BS. And why? We have eyes to see, and we are not tards. Just look over the pictures provided of that airfield and look at the damage. And that's not from a little spark that bzz, 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 destroyed I don't know, 8 or 7 fighters, jets, and ammunition and all that. And the fire did not expand, because look at how the damage is positioned. That was either a saboteur, like as I said in the video I posted regarding that issue. Either there were some strikes, or there were some field terrain saboteurs, the ones that came and put something over there and they blew that up. That's no other way. It was not a little bzz, 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 fuse. I mean, if you tell a 12-year-old, might believe you, but we are not 12-year-olds here. But we got another explosion in Crimea, and this time the Russians are pointing fingers, not at the fuses. This article comes from Reuters, August 16th, 2022. Moscow blames saboteurs for explosions that rock ammunition dump in Russian-annexed Crimea. Russia on Tuesday blamed saboteurs for orchestrating a series of explosions at an ammunition depot in Russian-annexed Crimea, a rare admission that armed groups loyal to Ukraine are damaging military logistics and supply lines on territory it controls. The incident follows a series of explosions last week at a Russian-operated airbase in Crimea that I was talking about, which Ukraine officials hinted were part of some kind of special operation, but which Moscow said at the time was an accident. Yeah, bzz, 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 you know. Russia's defense ministry said in a statement published by state news agency on Tuesday that nobody has been seriously injured in the latest explosions, which, it said, had also damaged power lines and electricity substation, railway infrastructure, and some residential housing in North Crimea. So there was a big blast over there. And footage on Russian state TV showed an electricity substation on fire near the town of Dzankoy in Crimea, and a series of large explosions on the horizon, which authorities said were caused by ammunition detonating at a military base. I would expect that military bases and ammunition depots have guards to protect them, or the guards are the ones who ignited the whole issue here. It was not immediately clear how saboteurs had triggered the blast, though Russian state media speculated they may have used small drones to bomb the ammo depot and other facilities. Or that. There was no immediate claim of responsibility from Ukraine, which is battling to push back Russian forces nearly 6 months into the war that began with Moscow's blah 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 invasion, February 24th. Two senior Ukrainian officials took to Twitter to exult in the explosions. However, with one presidential advisor, Mikhailo Podolyak, hinting at possible Ukrainian involvement while stopping short of confirming such a role. And I'm quoting, "The morning near Dzankoy began with explosions," wrote Podolyak. A reminder, Crimea, as a normal country, is about the Black Sea Mountains, recreation and tourism, but Crimea, occupied by Russians, is about warehouse explosions and high risk of death for invaders and thieves. Demilitarization in action, end quote. Russia cites the demilitarization of Ukraine as one of its main aims in Ukraine, something it says is necessary to preemptively ensure its own security in face of what it has cast as uncontrolled expansion by the Western NATO military alliance. In the face of what it has cast as uncontrolled expansion of Western NATO. No, it's not what it has cast, it's what reality is. And how do we know that? We take a map and we take a little calendar and we look 1991 here, NATO, 1995 here, 2000 here, 2005 here, 2000, okay? So you see, that's not a perceived expansion, it's a real expansion. We're not going to talk about the guarantees given to Gorbachev and others regarding not an inch eastward by NATO. But so it says here that Russia's Kommersant newspaper reported another possible act of sabotage in Crimea, quoting witnesses as saying that plumes of smoke could be seen over a Russian military airbase on the peninsula. Wow. So we have here this attack on ammunition depot by saboteurs. The Ukrainians do not say yet it was them as the military, and that's for a good reason. As I stated before, if they say it was they who did that, then Russians will probably remove some red lines that they and their friends, quote-unquote, the Americans, instituted during this war, which this is not an all-total war, as they say it is. This is a controlled war where the Americans and Russians are controlling it, definitely. They, why do I say that? Just look at what they can hit and what they can't hit. Ukrainians were provided HIMARS rockets, but they were told not to hit the Russian territory. And the Russians hit them from the Russian territory. So why would you do that? Then the Russians do not, level cities or, that they could. Like, for instance, Kiev, they could bombard Kiev every day 24/7. They don't do that. They don't take Zelensky out because there's no reason to take him out. He's just a little speaker. You know how the speaker is on your radio? That's what Zelensky is, a speaker. And then the person who's on the microphone is about 6,000 miles away across the Atlantic. So that person is talking and a speaker is telling us what to do, and he's the great hero over here. So this is how the things go over there. So killing this speaker, they're going to bring another speaker over there. And you can kill 1,000 speakers, they will have speakers forever, because willingly and participating, collaborating with outside forces. Remember 2014, how they overthrew the legitimate democratically elected government of Ukraine, again with people from outside using the people inside, and then they say, hey, we're legitimate, and then the guys in the East Ukraine said, no, you're not, we don't recognize you. Oh, you're not? Okay, yeah, go with some tanks over there and take care of them. So that's why the Ukrainians would not say it was them, because the Russians probably will scrape the red lines and say, we're going to do this and do this and do this. That's one thing. The other thing, they might say that it was them, even if it was not, if they're very desperate, just to say, hey, look at us, we're capable of hitting Crimea, what are we going to do now? Because you're losing anyway, so then you don't care if the Ukrainian Russians will do whatever they'll do. The fact is, there are saboteurs, and or the Ukrainian army does certain things, which I said in another video, which was not a like genius moment. It was just common sense. What else could be? And I never believed the scenario. A little safety fuse exploded because some rats chewed on some wires. Okay, yeah, all right, movies. So thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.